Kyle Daniel, my friend. How you doing?
Man, I'm great.
Man. First of all, congratulations. Something in the album.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Thank you very much.
And the songwriting really shines.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have some powerhouse songwriters help me with this one. So Will Hogue, Adam Wright, Seth Renfro, good buddy of mine, just putting the goods together. I was just like, I was kind of in a master class watching them all work, so it was really fun.
It's gotta be like the funnest thing, right? Like to be able to sit with Will Hogue or Adam. I know he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And his wife as well, great people.
And it seemed like every single idea that I would bring to the table, because Adam and I kind of got on a line drive of writing from a title. We both write from a title, and so every time I would bring something in, it was like, whether it was Zoom or in person, he would just kind of like look off in the distance, and it was almost like he just caught these songs out of midair.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate. Right vibe, right energy, right lyrical content. I was like, here we go. Like, let's take that and run with it. And so the majority of the songs that were written on the record kind of went like that, with just natural back and forth, and every single time came out with something that I was like, I put this on a record.
Yeah.
I put this on a record. So
I think that's what shines, man. It's like, it's rocking. It makes you move. It makes you enjoy it. But like, the more you listen to it, they're like, damn.
Yeah.
This has like some depth to it. And it just keeps getting...
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I definitely wanted to create a record that you could put on and listen to the entire way through.
Right.
And not just, skip a couple, go like, don't like that. You're getting to the number 8 song on the record, and that's the one that, everybody's like, I love this one. So I'm glad that that's kind of resonating.
So when you say right from the title for my audience, that basically, that's your songwriting process. Like you start like with the concept, with the idea, and then you break it down.
Right. Yeah. It, for me, I think that kind of just helps build the bullseye that we're shooting at, and easier to expand out from it, as opposed to like have this wide range of things that you could talk to kind of get back to it, right? So we almost write it backwards in a sense, that it's like, here's the main idea, here's the title, like, let's write the chorus first, and then let's go back and paint the room, so to speak. So
that makes sense. Yeah. And it gives you like a map, like a compass of where to always come back.
Right? Exactly. Right. Yeah. And I think that if you can, because as songwriters, we're creative people, we're oftentimes just, throwing out a ton of ideas at a time, whether they even make sense or not, and so it helps to kind of keep you on the right track right out of the gate to get, from the nucleus of the song to here's the chorus. Okay, now we can really start to, navigate where this goes. So it makes it a little bit easier, I think.
Right on. Let me ask you about one song in the record. I want to ask you so much, but I can't forget to ask you, because she's one of my best friends, Maggie Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the standout tracks of all of them, there's many, but you combine forces with Sister Maggie there and create like a banger. How was the recording there with Maggie? And I'm being selfish with this question. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I mean, dude, she's unbelievable. Like, she's definitely my favorite female vocalist currently. She has such an old soul, and she sings from this like sacred place. And so Will Hogue and I actually wrote this one. And so it felt very Black Crowes-y to me, the way that we kind of did the production on it. And so she was the obvious choice for me, man. And
the vocals just match, because I don't know, like if I was a singer, maybe I would be like, I don't know if I want to sing with like a Maggie Rose or something. But you guys, like, you evidently just combines perfect.
Yeah, and I think that was, not to be any sort of way, but it was like I needed someone with some force, because I'm singing that song with a lot of force, right? And so I knew immediately that she was the one to kind of team up with, and it was great, because I told Bobby, the guy who was mixing and doing some stuff, I said, Bobby, can we get Maggie? He was like, oh, yeah, we can get Maggie.
Oh, yeah.
And Bobby Holland, yeah. And so love Bobby, known Bobby for, what feels like 100 years at this point. But yeah, man, it was just a deal where it was like at her convenience, she just went into the studio, sang it to just, tip-top shape, sent it back. And I was like, well, that was exactly what I was looking for. So thank you, guys. And I've known Maggie for a while, because my college band went to MTSU. My college band's guitar player, when we kind of dispersed, he started playing with Maggie. Jason Gromley, who now plays with Brothers Osborne.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that was how she and I kind of met each other probably about 15 years ago or so. And so,
man.
yeah, been good.
So we were talking off camera about you just came back from like a pretty solid August European trip.
Yeah, man.
Tour.
Yeah.
I mean, I have many questions about that, but I'm curious, how was the tour? And I mean, from the performer perspective, because, a lot of our colleagues and people right now are saying, touring is not the easiest it's been right now in America.
Right.
The crowds sometimes are hit or miss.
Yeah.
The costs are up, all that stuff.
Yeah.
What was it like to be like a month in Europe, just like traveling? Like, how was the experience like?
I think that 16-year-old Kyle Daniel would be losing his mind right now at the reality of the situation. And I think for me, it was important to try to stay grounded and take it day by day. That the hustle and bustle when you get over there, because you have so much time and you try to maximize your time there by doing as much PR or whether it's like an in-store or an interview here or there, a little pop-up show for this or that. And you want to maximize that. So for me, it was unbelievable. I definitely had to kind of departmentalize each day because it was so busy. Right. I couldn't look too far into the future because I just wanted to make sure that I stayed present in those moments because there were some pretty large moments on this tour.
Amazing. The crowds looked.
Yeah.
Like they were eating it up.
And they turned up, singing the songs, first record, singing the, stuff off the first EP. And then obviously Kentucky Gold songs, people just, certain songs resonate just like they do anywhere. But I think that there's a different appreciation for music over there. At the end of the day, it's a different thing. People aren't on their phones. They're not chit-chatting in the middle of your song. Like people are zoned in on what you're doing. They're there for your show, and they're ride or die. They'll buy every T-shirt, CD, and anything else you got, just to be those kind of like super fans that I kind of equate it to like what I think the U.S. music scene was like in the late 60s, early 70s, right around like Woodstock, playing at the Long Road. Felt like, man, this is Woodstock. Like, there's 8,000 to 10,000 people standing in front of us. Like, I'm not that great at a head count like that, but it was a sea of people that just as far as you could see, and they singing the songs. And
that's got to be the best feeling when
it is.
Songs actually connect.
It is.
Thousands of people.
It gives you validation that what you're doing is making a difference.
Sure.
And I had a guy tell me this last time that he had a 2% chance of living with cancer. And the only alone time that he would get would be when he got a chance to take a shower, that the nurses would come in and they would, poke and prod and doing this, that, and the other. And he said, man, I want you to know that Following the Rain saved my life. I found so much hope in that song. I found so much hope in your voice, in your lyrics. And that hit me like a freight train, that you're making that kind of difference all the way across the pond with, zero idea that that's happening at the time. Right. But to hear it after the fact is like a supreme honor to have somebody say, man,
why you do what you do.
Right. That it validated why I was there doing what I was doing. And, yeah.
Are your folks still alive, Con?
Yeah, they are.
What do they feel like when they see like, the kind of kick-ass art you're doing? Because obviously your dad was a musician himself. Yeah. Your mom too, but your dad was pro.
Yeah.
But the fact that their kid, the little Kyle, is like rocking and rolling and really bringing out one of the best rock Americana / country albums of the year.
Oh, man.
I mean, like, and you're like just spreading the art. What's the experience like from their parent perspective?
I think that it's taken so long. It's sometimes they think, is this real? Is this really happening? I think they're both supremely proud. They've seen me from the beginning, and they've been supportive.
From when you were drumming?
From the beginning, absolutely, right? And even before that, when I traded my pacifier for a fiddle, I was a little bit older, and I probably should have been trading that pacifier in. But they've always been there. The one thing that I will always keep with me is the fact that my parents never gave up on the string. And I think that I did a couple times. I questioned myself just like anybody else would, that you doubt why am I still doing this, you know? And then signing the record deal was kind of surreal. It was still a pinch me moment that it's like, all right, to have a whole team, to have this like international exposure, to have success on charts in France, and to be able to, you know, say I've been A-listed twice on Planet Rock Radio, like huge accomplishments for some country boy from Kentucky that, you know, has just been grinding away. I think that, you know, I started with blues and kind of went to the like rock jam band, classic rock jam band kind of thing in college, and then started playing country music, and then finally settled into who I was as a Southern rock artist, I consider myself. And so, you know, my parents never batted an eye, and were always supportive, whether it was, you know, helping me buy guitar strings or new amps or, you know, whatever it was. They just always pushed, and they took me to the airport this past time, you know. And of course it's an odd, yeah, it is. But it's an odd moment to like leave home and know that you're going to be gone for so long, and you're not like in Austin, Texas. Right. You're in, you know, Cologne, Germany. Sure. And so you're halfway across the world. And I think that there's some nerves that come along with it. And you know, my old man was just like, go get him, dog. You know, and my mom, of course, crying, and like, you know, she's emotional. I'm crying. I'm like, why are y'all doing this to me? Like, I got 2 weeks of work to do, you know, like, but yeah, it was, it's great, man, to have their blessing behind what I'm doing is huge, because I don't think any parent wants to hear their 16-year-old son say, I think I want to be a rock star one of these days, right. You know, and, my dad, being in the construction business, I'm sure thought that I would follow in his footsteps, take over the company, and it just wasn't something that I saw for myself, you know. And I felt like, man, there's a bigger stage, there's a bigger moment, there's a bigger microphone that I have something to say, and I think that the world needs to hear it. And so for it to come to fruition, I think they're as excited as they can be, man, you know.
What a beautiful story.
Yeah,
I can just. So much depth to that. I love it.
Yeah.
Kyle, let me ask you about something. I thank you for your time. I know you're going to play a song for us, but yeah, I wanted to ask, because I'm really curious. You know, you don't see a lot of like side players that is very common in Nashville that kind of like take that pivot and thrive the way that you have. I think it's interesting. Tell me a little bit about when you took that leap, because there is, you know, there is some more like career certainty when you're a side person. You have less at stake. It's right. A little bit like a different kind of vibe in a way. Yeah. How was that like shift for you? Like, was that scary? Was that hard? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, of course. I think when you kind of pivot and go any direction, there's some nerves. There's some, you know, uncertainty. And I think that a lot of times for me, it was just believing in myself and knowing that, like, I didn't have to go all in right out of the gate, that we could kind of dip our toes into the water with an EP, kind of test the waters and see, you know, how it would respond, and got a great response right out of the gate, you know. Was super
comfortable.
Yeah, I felt comfortable. I felt back to who I was, you know, because at the time I was doing, I was working for Doc McGee, and I was doing merchandise management for a group out of LA called Vintage Trouble. Okay. And so I had kind of been in there using my music business degree from MTSU, doing that thing, seeing how that would work if the whole music thing didn't work. And one thing led to another. I ended up leaving there, but that same week I got a phone call from Jimmy Hall of Wet Willie. Sure. And he was like, hey, man, will you come play this Delbert McClinton Blues Cruise with me? And I got a couple other dates here and there and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, would love to play on a cruise. Let's go. And so that was kind of the transition back into playing music. Then with Casey James, Claire Dunn, and finally I'd come to the point with Claire where it was like, man, I had seen enough of the back end of what was happening in the country world. We did all the festivals. We toured with Bob Seger. We did Miranda Lambert. I was seeing how this was working. I was seeing what was happening night after night. And I said, I can do this. I don't have the songs right now that I feel like a representative of who Kyle Daniel is, because all those songs were prior to me, you know, going out with Vintage Trouble and doing my stuff. So I just kind of limped back in, got with some songwriters that I loved and appreciated, and tried to brew up what was the first EP, and that was, what came from it. Just trying to plug into Nashville's songwriting world and get connected with people that I felt like, all right, here's a group of like-minded people that I could write with on a regular basis, and kept really kind of hammering at that for a little while. And then it was finally time for me to say, all right, so all my touring buddies that I know, like, let me shuffle them into the studio. Guys, I don't have a ton of money, but I'll pay you the best I can. Like, they all believed in me at the time. So that was super, it just kind of felt like at that moment the stars lined up, and it was like, okay, here's your start. And it was like, off little birdie you go. And never looked back since, it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into a solo career. And it is a different pressure, because when you're on stage as a side guy, you're standing in the shadows a little bit. There's not that much nervousness. You're not worried about the finances or like, oh my state. Right, exactly. It's not you, it's someone else. And so the spotlight is not on you. And I think that one thing that my old man did say, and semi-recently, was like, it ain't gonna last forever, son, And so I keep that in the forefront of my mind, thinking that it's like every day and every opportunity that I get, I have to capitalize to the nth degree and try to, just be the best version of myself every day to enjoy this time, not to look back on it and go, oh, I wish I would have, I wish I would have gave a little bit more effort when I had the opportunity. So it's nice to be here, man.
You're doing it.
I'm trying, brother.
And just being with you, man, like your passion is just like recharging us, man. So thank you for that.
Dude, thank you.
Kentucky Gold, man. What an album. Congratulations, really. And it does get like, it's incredible the first few listens, but like when you listen to the 7th and the 8th time, it gets better.
I love it.
That's when you're like, my God, this is like deep. It's good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. So
thank you. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take us away with a song, we'd be absolutely honored.
All right, yeah. My name is Kyle Daniel, and this is Following the Rain.
Some live in the sunshine, out under the blue sky, but all I know is I ain't built that way. Must be some kind of curse I got, with a heart like a witching rod, and I just keep on following the rain. Just another dark cloud hanging over my head, goes away for a moment, comes back again. Nothing ever changes in the middle of a hurricane. Maybe that's why I keep following the rain. Guess I'm kinda used to it now, living under this thundercloud, and I gotta learn to take what I can't change. I wouldn't know just what to do if these gray skies turn blue, so I just keep on following the rain. Just another dark cloud hanging over my head, goes away for a moment, comes back again. Nothing ever changes in the middle of a hurricane. Maybe that's why I keep following the rain. Try to put my finger on the moment it all went wrong. Wish I could, but I can't really say. I know it don't matter much how it started, 'cause I'm still stuck. And I just keep on following the rain. Just another dark cloud hanging over my head, goes away for a moment, comes back again. Nothing ever changes in the middle of a hurricane. Maybe that's why I keep following the rain. Maybe that's why I keep following the rain.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you so much.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here for the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from J-Rod Concert Media.